Well, what began as an effort to combat ocean plastics has broadened its mission this year. Here to tell us what prompted the change and what their new focus includes is Anne Marie Moquin, founder and executive director of Beaches Go Green. Good morning, Anne Marie.
Hi, Anne. Thanks so much for having us.
Thanks for coming back. Morgan Eaton, the group's director of programs. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
And Shelby Barrett, the group's director of community outreach. Good morning, Shelby.
Good morning, everybody.
So, Anne Marie, you founded Beaches Go Green, I think in 2018.
Correct.
It's been a minute. Remind us why you started in the first place.
So I started Beaches Go Green after watching a documentary called A Plastic Ocean. And I have always been a big lover of nature. And that documentary struck me on how our fast paced, single use lifestyle, our convenience based lifestyle, was impacting wildlife at the farthest stretches of the planet where there wasn't any civilization. And I thought that if we could create awareness about that, start thinking about our habits and stop the single use plastic, we could make an impact to protect the environment.
And this was in response to a film that you saw, but also to your experience living at the beach and being just a member of the beach's community.
Absolutely. You can't go to the beach without finding littered cigarette butts or plastic wrappers of some kind. And even in the adjacent parking lots and the communities of Beaches Town Center or Jack's Beach, there's a lot of litter.
Yeah. And so you have brought on, additional help to kind of, further the mission, Morgan and Shelby among them. But this year you've also sort of changed your focus and modified what Beaches Go Green is about and for. Tell us why.
Yeah, so the Beaches Go Green team has never been stronger. I'm so proud to have Morgan and Shelby on our team. And, we were racking our brains trying to figure out how to make a bigger impact and a greater reach. And what we realized was that unfortunately, not everybody has an affection for nature and the environment. Maybe they just haven't had that exposure or that connection. And so we started to think about how deeply connected human health is to the health of the planet. And we realized that there's a huge movement for health right now. There's an awareness about dyes in our food. There's an awareness about organics. There's awareness about people wanting to work out and be strong and be fit. Um, I think that the statistics have come out that cancer rates are rising, especially at younger ages. Um, the fertility rates are declining. There's all these things that are happening, and we haven't quite pinpointed exactly why, but we wanted to make the connection and create the awareness that all of the toxins in our food and in our environment are not only harming our human health, but they're harming the planet. And so we decided to expand the reach to educate people on this because we feel like as people realize how deeply we are connected with the health of the environment, that we can get them on board to make small changes that will not only help their health, but help the planet.
Morgan, it's funny. We were actually just talking about this on the program the other day about whether the wellness movement is in some ways, changing the focus and the priorities of the environmental movement, basically by recognizing that people are very focused on their own health, but maybe not so focused on planetary health or fighting pollution. And so I understand why Beaches Go Green would be moved to change the focus, but it's a little dispiriting, is it?
It is. I mean, I think that we try so hard to like push this message out, but not everyone accepts it. It's just everyone's in this fast pace, quick, um, you know, everything just has to come quick and easy. So if it's not presented on a silver platter, a lot of people just tend not to care.
Yeah. And so the impacts, though, as Anne Marie says, are very real when you're talking about things like plastics pollution,
It's
whether it's them
yeah, it's
breaking down in the environment or being manufactured.
something simple as a plastic water bottle. Not only those toxic plastics leak into the water and into your system, but that bottle is literally trash.
Right. And so, Shelby, I know that the bottles, and there's a couple on the table
Yeah.
here, have been a big focus of Beaches Go Green because the idea is to supplant plastic water bottles, but also to change the way people think about, the risks that are inherent in plastic water bottles. And so some of that has come to, outreach with students. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have a reusable bottles for sports programs within our schools. So the message with that is we want to teach the students to teach their teams about the single-use plastic epidemic that's going on, and then also about the chemicals that are in the plastic that impact the athlete's health.
Yeah. And so encouraging them to drink from a non-plastic water bottle is one thing, but you've actually worked to incorporate them as, I think you call it, kind of part of their uniform, right? So that when
Mhm.
they're on the field, they will be carrying the appropriate water bottle
Right,
and
yeah.
not just a plastic one.
Yeah, so that they can rep BGG and then also rep their school team and kind of spread the movement that way.
Yeah. And so you work with sponsors, I guess, Anne Marie, to kind of bring them in to help them purchase the bottles, but then you kind of present them to a school or to a team and say, like, this, it's up to you to sort of enforce this as the expectation.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have had some amazing community sponsors and we're always seeking more community sponsors to help us with the program. Our idea is that the bottles are double-walled stainless steel and they keep the drink cold all day. They eliminate not just the environmental impact of the single-use plastic, which persists in the environment virtually forever, but also the chemicals that leach out of the plastic bottle into our drinks and into our food that impact fertility. They can impact brain development, gut health, many, many different systems in our bodies. So,
Yeah. And so I may just ask you the same question that I asked Morgan, which is in broadening this mission and sort of doing so because we understand that people are more focused on their own personal health than they are on planetary health or environmental health or the well-being of the, kind of nature around them. How do you, as an advocate for the environment, absorb that and kind of deal with that?
yeah, I think what we've realized is we need to meet people where they are. And although we would love to see huge, sweeping, rapid changes, we need to understand that people are in their own world, in their own mindset. And if we can suggest small changes that will improve their personal health, but also have a long-term impact on the planet, then that's where we're going to go. And whether they come to us or they make these changes for one reason or the other, I think that the general benefit is to everything, right? It's to the planet as well as our health.
Yeah. So Morgan, what are some of the changes and how do you communicate those to people, to adopt them even if it's piecemeal?
We've made some insanely great content that we put all over our social media. We've been making AI videos for the students to share not only within their clubs but their communities as well. We've just been trying to make it starts from as simple as using as an app to scan like your beauty products. So you can go in your house, you take this little app, you scan everything you use in the shower, it gives you a rating based upon what's in that product.
Oh,
And then
wow.
you can make a decision for yourself is if it scores high on, fragrance. What are those fragrance consequences in your body and the planet? So it's just simple things like that. We every time we post something, we show the planetary health, the human health aspect, and then we offer simple swaps.
Yeah. Shelby, do you find that your peers are willing to make those lifestyle changes? And are they bigger or smaller than people expect when it comes to trying to either shop healthier or buy better products?
I think starting small is always the way to go because you can't change everything overnight. But I think people are pretty receptive to it, just realizing that it's just small changes that you can make, like in the products that you buy, the clothing that you buy, the food, the drinks that you intake. So, yeah, just making small changes. And I think people are more receptive to that rather than trying to overhaul everything overnight.
Is Beaches Go Green involved in any sort of legislative pushes, any efforts to sway the laws, Anne Marie?
So we always support our community partners like Oceana and Frisco Surfrider when they are doing those efforts. We don't per se go and legislate or petition at the state level, but I think that creating awareness and the groundswell of the everyday person is going to help push that. And we always encourage people to go vote with their values and
Yeah.
what's important to them.
So I know you've got an event on the 22nd of October. It's a fall festival, kind of a trunk or treat event at the Seahorse Oceanfront Inn, but you've got a cleanup planned as well?
We do. So, although Beaches Go Green is not a beach cleanup organization, of course, we're an environmental health organization. We recognize that engaging the community in simple ways, especially these community building events like cleanups, are great. So we are doing a holiday themed. As a matter of fact, it's a Frosty Paws. Bring your
Pause for
pet
claws.
Pause for Claws event where we're going to encourage people to don festive gear for the holidays and bring their pets and come and clean up Beaches Town Center before the lighting of the Christmas tree later that day. So it's a great way for our sponsors to get engaged. It's a great way for people to come out and do things with their friends and family and give back to the community.
And that is when and how can people find out?
That'll be Saturday, December 6th. And it'll be at the Atlantic Boulevard Beach Access between One Ocean Hotel and the Seahorse Hotel. And you can always find more information about what's going on our Instagram and our website.
All right. Well, Anne Marie, Morgan, Shelby, thanks for the work that you guys are doing. Thanks for coming on today.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much
much.
for having us.